Hi everyone, happy Friday, TGIF. I shot yesterday when I went to Tilden Park. I took a few cameras and I did one roll of color film and one roll of black and white film using my pinhole for the color and what's called a Holga for the black and white. And I thought, well, I don't have a whole lot of motivation today. I should be doing other things. I should be writing this artist statement and whatnot. But instead, I'm avoiding that by, I thought I would tell you about the Holga camera, especially for those of you who are artists. I know a lot of people who are painters and use different artistic medium, but they also they also get into photography, particularly film photography, and particularly with either Polaroids or toy cameras. A toy camera is essentially a plastic camera. Any of the ones that are made now, some of them are older, like Diana's, and there's Clicks and Clacks and various plastic bakelite cameras. What's being made now are Holgas are still being made, and they have a new version of Diana's. And these take 120 film. So this is a 120 film spool. So your negatives end up being 6 by 6 centimeters. And so you have a little bit more room to work with. And what you get with the toy cameras frequently is vignetting along the edges. You get some blurriness along the edges. They're completely manual, so they're really easy to do multiple exposures on. You can do what I call, well, some people call them Holga-ramas. I sometimes call them faux panoramas. But they're just kind of like an awesome little cheap camera. They're around, I don't know if they're $20 now or what. You can actually do the range of focus for these. The closest you can get is maybe like a meter, I guess it is. But to be able to do macro work and bring things a little bit closer, particularly if you want to do some kind of portrait work with them, you can put a little ring, I forget what they're called, extension ring or something, around the edges, and then you can get, where are they? You can get these cool little filters that are essentially just like, you know, little magnifying glasses, and there's 3 different sizes and you can stack them. I happen to have been fortunate enough to have a friend give me the distances for each. Otherwise, there's some tricks that you can use that you actually can find online if you're really interested, or because I'm not going to go into detail for this video, that will help you get the right focus distance. And it is amazing that with these cameras you can get some extremely sharp focus and still have this wonderful sort of mystical, ethereal blurriness around the edges. And I thought I'll show you some of the ones I shot yesterday, and I'm just going to show you with my Flickr, because when I put stills into, I don't know how to use my iMovie. When I put stills in, it always does weird things with them. So, so this is from yesterday. This was at the little farm. And that's one of the little goats there. Oh my, I really love those goats. And this was along the path. I had stopped along the path and showed this. And you can see how the edges get that vignetting, and they're sort of blurry, but yet you still have this incredible focus. And then there's another goat one there. And then the faux panos, you overlap. What you do is you roll the film on just a little bit. You don't go fully to the next frame, and so you overlap the frames to create a panorama. And then let me see if I can find some of my... And if you're not, even if you don't have a dark room, you can process film if you want to do your own negatives, as long as you have, a dark closet or something that you can go into and load your film in a tank. Then you just have to have the tank and a few other thermometer for temperature. The processing film is actually pretty easy. But even if you don't want to do that, if you want to do black and white, there are C41 black and white films, which means that you could take that film to any place that processes color film and still have a black and white image. And the color with Holga is a lot of fun. You can sometimes get some really, really neat stuff. I have so many in here. Let's see here. It's loading up. Those are all my color Holga pictures. All right, I think this is another one of the faux panos, but in color. Yeah, that was in New York City a few years ago with my son's band. But you see the quality that you get with these is just really interesting. It's more than just, your average snapshot, which is pretty neat. And with the close-up filter, let's see what I can find. That's with the close-up filter. So what ends up happening is, just as with the pinhole, you can get some pictures that are, rather painterly in nature. And we have, that was at the Freer Gallery in Washington, D.C. These are some persimmons from my yard, and that was actually on a bulb setting. You can have longer exposures and just hold the shutter open, so there's a little bit of motion blur there, but it actually works really well for the subject matter. What else do we have here? Yeah, here we have another close-up. So this is with a $20 plastic camera, which I think is pretty darn awesome to be able to get these kinds of images with a $20 camera. Granted, you have to learn how to use it, but it doesn't take that long if you have. So yeah, for any of you artists out there who are interested in incorporating interesting photography even into like collage work or something like that, I highly recommend either pinhole or, in this case what we're talking about today, toy camera. And so once you get your film processed, you can scan it, and then you can manipulate it if you want to. I usually just do it for brightness and contrast. I don't typically even manipulate the color very much. If I'm going to manipulate color, I'll use slide film and get it cross-processed, which means they develop in the kind of chemistry that's typically used for negative film, and then you get these really intense kind of tweaked colors. But you can scan them and then you can print them. You can print them on your inkjet printer. You can make it a digital file and get a photo lab to make C prints, chromogenic prints. So there's a lot of different things you can do with that. So there's my plug for for plastic cameras. Hope you all have a wonderful Friday and a great weekend. Bye bye.